Hi everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at more stocks in the marijuana sector. Okay, so first up we're going to take a look, and every single stock in this video is in the marijuana sector, just to let you know. First up we're going to take a look at Constellation Brands. The alcohol industry is starting to acquire marijuana companies, and we had a big move with Constellation Brands taking a 40% stake now in Gldff, and so now they have a 38% investment, which could later on add up to 50%, and so now arguably Gldff and Constellation Brands is the #1 company in the world, #1 marijuana company in the world. And so this is really going to help Constellation Brands hooking up with Gldff, since alcohol sales are declining, since beer sales are declining, and the marijuana consumption is increasing. So this is a good move by them. But so far the share price is not showing that. It got punished. It announced it, and it dropped as Gldff took off. Gldff skyrocketed higher as Constellation Brands sold off. And so this sell-off could be a buying opportunity. So look at the declining volume pattern over here. So declining volume pattern sets it up for a bullish volume spike potentially. That's what we're looking for now. We're looking for a spike above yesterday's volume bar to signal that it wants to push higher. It's bouncing right now off of the 400-day simple moving average at 199.66. We want to see that 199 level hold. A hollow red candle formed today. That means that even though it closed above the open, it traded down on the day. This is a sign that even though it was red on the day, the bulls were actually in control almost into the close here. There is a little upper wick. Now on Friday, a bullish Haremy reversal pattern formed. So we're still looking for that bullish reversal confirmation and a move back up to this pink line, which is EMA4 at 205.37. Now if it can break above EMA4, you have 208 as the next resistance level there at EMA8, and keep your eye on this gap up here. We'll be looking for an eventual gap fill to the upside. Up here around 212.75 is the bottom of the gap, and up here around 214.50 is the top of the gap. Okay, so now take a look at TAP. This is ticker symbol TAP. This is Molson Coors Brewing Company, and so they made a deal with a little known ticker symbol. As you can see here, they have marijuana beers coming, and they made a deal with ticker symbol Hyydf. Sorry, that's a mouthful. And so this hydroapothecary is going to be infusing their cannabis with the Molson beer and beverages, and they're going to become a giant marijuana beverage company. And so they actually are jumping ahead full steam here, and so this is a marijuana sector play. So now you need to start looking at TAP and some of these other brewers as actually marijuana sector plays as opposed to just brewery and alcohol plays, because they're all trying to get into the industry with the declining sales for beer and the rising marijuana sales. So what's happening is a lot of the Canadian sector stocks are now takeover candidates, and so everyone's trying to figure out who's going to be the next company to get taken over, or at least have a partnership with one of the large brewers. Okay, so check out TAP. TAP here is in the bull zone on RSI and Fasto. You have a bullish setup here on ADX with the green line above the red line. Now we want to see the black line there, ADX, cross over the red line, minus DI, to show the bulls are certainly in control. Okay, right now there is a symmetrical triangle pattern. You can see the declining resistance, and then you have ascending support, and the ascending support has really turned into this tighter symmetrical triangle pattern inside the bigger symmetrical triangle pattern, and it's coming up to the key resistance zone, the descending resistance zone. That's right up here in the 69 to 69.50 level. If it can break above, if you see it trading at 69.50 and above, that's going to be really bullish, and it could make a run up here to the 72, 73 resistance zone where we have the 200-day simple moving average. So a close above this longer term resistance line is going to signal upside potential. Notice volume is still really light, so people are haven't taken that full swing yet, and so we're going to see if it can push through resistance. Now if it dropped below EMA4 at 68, you could see the middle Bollinger Band and 100-day simple moving averages tested down here in the 67 support zone. It needs to hold 67 to remain in play. Okay, so take a look at the Hydropothecary here. Okay, closed up 6.4%. So the chart is heating up here. It has RSI in the bull zone, Fasto up here at 68. So it closed today above that 50-day simple moving average. It had closed above that level a couple times a couple weeks ago, but it failed to stay above the green line and pulled back. So now we'll be looking for that green line to hold, stay above 360 and above the 100-day simple moving average at 356, the golden green lines. If it can bust through 375, $4 will be the next target. Notice that's lined up with the descending resistance line. So 4 will be the next target if you can get through this 375 zone. And then you have the high close from back here in May, and that's lined up with around 412 or so. Okay, so let's look at SMG. So this is Scott's Miracle-Gro. This is another angle on the marijuana sector. You know, the nice thing about STZ, TAP, and SMG is they all trade options. And so you can have exposure to the cannabis sector through options, which everybody knows you get more bang for your buck if you get everything right. Okay, so SMG here, it closed up 1.9%. The chart is heating up. It's been on a 5-day run already, so you have to keep that in mind. Back here in June, July, it did have a big multi-day run. Okay, it looks like it did run here for what, 8 days in a row. So it has put on longer runs in the past. In my opinion, right now, everything's coming down to this middle Bollinger Band, the dotted purple line. If it can close above that level at $77, that'll signal the possible start of a new uptrend, and we'll be looking for a run up to this 81, 82 level where the 50 and 100-day simple moving averages are at. Similar to back here when it got above that level in July, it got above. You know, each time it gets above the middle Bollinger Band, it runs to that 100-day simple moving average zone. Now keep in mind that they were much closer to the action when it got above the middle Bollinger Band last time, but that will be the upward target if support holds. Now, if it fails to break the 77 resistance zone, that's going to be the top of this bounce, and it could pull back. And if it did pull back, you'd be looking for the gap between high of day on this candle and low of day and this candle to fill, you know, just above $74. Okay, yeah, if you look here at Scott's Miracle-Gro, you can see here they signed a deal back in 2015 with General Hydroponics, or they bought them out for $130 million. This is one of the, at the time, it was the largest company in the industry for fertilizer, hydroponic equipment and fertilizer, and so that was a big move by Scott's Miracle-Gro. And so they do have direct exposure, you know, not direct through the plants, but they are supplying directly to the marijuana sector. So it is a marijuana sector stock. Okay, another stock to keep an eye on is going to be Tgodf. Okay, this is the Green Organic Dutchman Holdings. Okay, they have operations in Jamaica and in Canada. And if you look here, they're looking. They just posted a press release tonight. You know, people like in the industry, they like what they're doing. You know, they're trying to put out quality cannabis, which is greatly needed. So they're going more on focusing on quality. And so you want to keep an eye on Tgodf here. It had this big retracement. It had this really nice run back in May when it first started trading. You know, it started trading and they just pushed it really high all the way up to 760, and then they walked it down. Notice how it was walked down here. Now what we're looking for is a break above the top of this channel, which is the red line here. It's lined up with that middle Bollinger Band at 412. So if it can get above 412 and you see it trading above that level, that's going to signal it's in play. Now it's going to have to stay above. If it dropped back below, it's signal more consolidation. The bottom of the channel is down here at 360, so that is the downside risk. Now the upside potential, if it breaks above 412, you have 436 here, the high close, and then you have the 50-day simple moving average, that green line at 455. That'll be the big level to break. Okay, take a look at Nugs. So Nugs here formed a really ugly candle. It ran earlier in the day, and a lot of people were really hyped on it, but it pulled back. You have to be careful chasing. You know, this was a great stock for people that loaded up last week down here on the bottom, and maybe even if you caught it on the second day, or even if you jumped in on Friday. But if you jumped in today and you were chasing, you know, that's just not, you know, you just have to be ready to sell quickly once you see danger forming when a stock is on a multi-day run. You know, the first day is your best entry, second day second. You know, once you get to the fourth day, it's frothy. Okay, so you had a gap up open above the upper Bollinger Band. That was a red flag. Okay, anytime you have a gap up open during an uptrend, it sets you up for a potential bearish reversal pattern. It sets you up for the candle candles working their way back into the bands. So you have the lower Bollinger or upper Bollinger Band down here at 261, the gap up. Okay, it ran up here to the high close, which was the 21st of May. Once it breaks above that level intraday and then pulls back the high close, that is a sell signal. So once it dropped back below 330, that was a signal to lock in gains. Now you know, take note, candles are working back into the bands. And so what you want to see now is you want to see this 50-day simple moving average in EMA 4 at this 230 to 240 support zone hold. Notice the big volume spike, okay? Notice the long upper wick on today's candle. This is what we call a climax spike. A climax spike after a multi-day run. You want to look at a couple of recent examples? Just look at the history of the stock. Last time this happened, multi-day run, climax spike, pull back, multi-day run. Look how it really formed the climax spike like I'm talking about here in April. You know, a gap up open above the upper Bollinger Band, followed by a long upper wick and a giant volume spike, followed by multi-volume bars. It signals the lock in gains. I mean, this is not rocket science, people. You know what I mean? I'm trying, when I put, because I put out alerts on this and charts on this in the chat today, and all I'm trying to do is help. And it's because history repeats over and over and over again in the stock market. And I spend a little more time than most people looking at these charts, so I can recognize the patterns pretty quickly, and I know other people can as well. I'm just saying that we see this repeat over and over again, and that's why, you know, you just have to take action and lock in those gains when you see the bearish pattern form. Look at accumulation distribution. There was a big spike down today. That signaled, you know, that signals that they were dumping shares. You know, look at the big spike down here. You know, the stock closed fractionally, you know, just it closed flat in the day, but it made the big move with the big volume, and that just signals that they were using the rally to dump shares. That's exactly what they did the last two times. See that? The exact same thing happened. History repeats. Okay, let's look at Emhtf. All right, so I went through and you know, I posted a bunch of plays in the chat. I mean, the marijuana sector is going off. When they do this, you know, they run the sector as a whole, but keep in mind, you know, they'll pull them back as a whole as well. So it's all about following the charts on whatever individual rides or individual stocks you decide to play or trade or invest in. You need to follow the charts closely because, you know, as soon as the party's over, they do like to pull these things back a lot of times. And so yeah, it's above 50 on RSI, above 80 on Fasto, and I'm just saying that because you know, you can never get too confident of a marijuana sector rally. Okay, I've been charting these since the very beginning of the marijuana sector, and you know, it's just like you got to take it. When the ATMs are open, you got to hit it hard. You got to play the game, but then when it signals the lock in gains, you got to lock in those gains because these companies all dilute. They all sell shares, and they're all going to use these rallies to dilute it. Now they can get sustained rallies going, and that's what we're looking for now. We're looking for these long downtrends to break and a new uptrend to begin. We're looking for new investors to step in and decide to take marijuana to the next level. So that's what has to happen to get a sustained uptrend going, and this could be the start of it. We could be hitting the very start. It's going to be all about breaking resistance and holding support. As you can see here, this green line here is the 50-day simple moving average. It's been really tough to break. It closed right at that level today. If you see Emhtf close above 248 tomorrow, that's going to be super bullish. It's going to signal more upside potential. And then you have the 300-day simple moving average at 269 is the level to break. Keep an eye on Nxttf. This is another one that's heating up. So you know, they have a deal. I think it was with Aurora. It was either with Aurora or Canopy Growth, with one of the two biggest companies to supply equipment to them. And the chart's heating up. It closed today above the 50-day simple moving average. You know, the last few times it's gotten above this level, the green line here, it's stalled out. And so we're going to see if this time it was when they finally let it go. It has super tight Bollinger Bands. Okay, it's been in a sideways channel. What we're looking for now is a break above the 100-day simple moving average at 116. It hasn't closed above that level in months. And so a close above 116 would be really bullish. And that would put the 200-day simple moving average at 130 on deck. Check out the big volume spike. That's what you want to see. Now, you know, we don't want to see the climax spikes, but we do want to see people, you know, jumping in here and wanting to take investments at the bottom to try to push them higher. Okay, take a look at DG. Okay, look at this one here. What is this ticker symbol? Yeah, the DGACF. Okay, so this one was breaking out. This is a breakout play. Okay, it's above the 200-day simple moving average. This stock had a big run last year. As you could see, it was one of the big winners back in November to the January run. You know, that was an epic rally from 60 cents all the way up to almost $4. So huge percentage gains. And when that happens, we track them. You know, we follow them as they're going down, 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 and then we wait until they break out, and then we try to jump back in again. And so that's what's happening right now with the stock like Djacf. It's finally, you know, bullish again. It has to stay above the 200-day simple moving average at 150. If it could stay above 150, you know, it could work back up here to this 220 level. Okay, so you have the 230 resistance. It will be a big resistance zone, 230 to 240, and yeah, we're just going to see if these stocks will follow through, if they'll start uptrends. That's what we're looking for now. So I don't know why I had them all set up. I'm sorry about that. I just have too many charts on here to show you, but yeah, my computer for some reason I had them all set up already. So we have Cnnrf here. This is another cannabis company. This is a nice setup. You know, it closed above that 50-day simple moving average. It broke below over here on these candles. You know, it had been below for an extended period of time. It held the 200-day simple moving average with this like double bottom type of situation off of 325, and then now it's above the 50 and 100-day simple moving averages. If it stays above 370, it's in play. I had it all set up before. Sorry about that. I went through and spent the time setting all these charts up. What we're looking for, if it stays above 370, is for it to work back up to this 340 resistance zone. Okay, another one. Darn it, I wasted a bunch of time setting all these charts up. Yeah, so here we go. We have A, B, C, C, F. All right, so this is another one to keep an eye on. Check it out. It's hitting the 50-day simple moving average. It closed just at that or just above that level. If it could stay above $1, look for it to run up to this 109 to 113 level. If it can get above that, then you have 132, that 200-day simple moving average. It topped out last time at the 100-day simple moving average. The chart's heating up. We'll see if it can stay above $1. Take a look at Gldff. Okay, so this is another one to keep an eye on. It's hitting the 100-day simple moving average, and so this stock had a bullish volume spike today. Okay, so you can see up here Gldff. Okay, closed up 9%. It's been working on, you know, turning the 50-day simple moving average into support. That level's been holding at 16.6 here. As long as the 17 level holds, it's in play. And then right now it's trying to break 18. If it could stay above this gold line, it could run up to this between 20 and 22 level. That's the 300-day simple moving average and the 200 and 400-day simple moving averages. Okay, so we're going to look for a run up to this 21 to 22 level if it can stay above 18. If it fails to break 18, that's going to signal more consolidation. Okay, yeah, so keep an eye on a couple of these United States tickers here. The last two are U.S. marijuana companies. This is Mcig. This is these last two are super old school. If you've been trading marijuana sector stocks, these are like the original stocks. And yeah, this was a vaporizer company. I have no idea what they do now. Maybe they do the same thing. Closed up 18% here. It's on a multi-day run. Check out the big volume spike. This is looking like a climax spike kind of thing to me, but what I'm thinking might happen is it could pull back down here to the 50-day simple moving average at 27, hold that level, bounce off, and then launch. So if you see it pull back, test 27, and it holds, that could be your opportunity to jump in for that ride potentially up here to 36. You know, I wouldn't chase here. When you have a multi-day run on a marijuana sector stock, sometimes you miss them. It's better just to wait for the dip. The dip's coming, even if it's just a pullback to EMA4 or the 50-day simple moving average. You know, it's unlikely that it's going to keep running. It could keep running. You never know. And but you know, it has the multiple green volume bars in a row with the big volume spike today. But this could be the push to that next level. We'll just have to see what happens. It's busting through the upper Bollinger Band right now. You know, it has this kind of look to me. You know, like this kind of look or this kind of look, where it might form a red kind of pause candle where it holds EMA4 and it stays strong, but it just has to take maybe a little breather. But we'll see. It has Fasto at 93. RSI is at 67, so it still has room to run on RSI. Okay, so it's not overbought yet on that indicator. Okay, take a look at Mjna. This is medical marijuana, closed up 9%. This is the original marijuana sector stock, right? I think this was the first one. And yeah, it's heating up. I like to follow these. I used to follow them a lot more, just because everybody this is the one that people have had in their portfolio for years that they've been stuck with or whatever, or they added to, or this was their first one they bought. So yeah, this has a downward channel where you have descending resistance, all right, and then you have descending support, okay, and it broke below the channel there, and it got back into it, and then it dipped below again, and then now it's just back in the channel again, okay? And so what it needs to do is break out above the top of the channel, which is lined up with around, the 10-cent level. It's all about breaking 10 cents and turning that into support. That's been the big resistance zone recently. If it can get above 10 and turn it into support, then you have the 200 and 400-day simple moving averages here at 10.05 and 10.07. You could see the 300 and the 100-day simple moving averages are at 10.1. Break through those, and it could get moving and possibly run back up to 12. That would be the upside target if it can bust through this resistance here. What caught my eye and why I decided to go ahead and throw it in over some other Canadian stocks. I can only fit so many stocks in, and you guys are probably tired of watching this. You can see the big volume spike. The big volume spike was was what's got my interest here, because this could be people loading for that next push, similar to over here where they loaded in April, and that got the nice here, and then it got the push going, and so maybe this is the start of the push, so keep an eye on it. All right, yeah, so keep in mind, think outside of the box. It's all about, it may not just be about the producers of marijuana, but it's people that are making things out of marijuana, like the brewers, or people that are making oil, or people that are making fertilizer, or selling grow supplies. You have to think about the different angles inside the marijuana industry, and not just have your exposure towards the the cultivators. There's so many different facets. You could have exposure to the sector with multiple different stocks that are hitting different angles, and that could spread out the risk. Okay, thanks for viewing this video. Really appreciate it.